with what you are going to respond here.
Uh-huh.
So it's more or less that's the idea. Okay. So
You have to get him. Are we
Thank
still
you.
rolling? Are you ready to ask him the question?
yes.
Okay.
Uh,
Are
the
we
first
rolling on
one?
that same?
Thank you very much.
That was.
I think it's rolling anyway.
Oh, right.
Okay. This is about 2012.
Yes.
Okay. I heard you mention in your world premiere interview with our friend Alan,
Yes.
New Realities, that great things were about to occur according with song in 2012, but you said that 2003 actually already was, something was set up in 2003. If I understood you correctly, in order to create this foundation for a new era, there's many prophecies. People think that will happen, things that will happen at that time.
Yes.
I basically wanted to ask you how those things will actually happen, and for the Hopis, they have they recorded in stone, and about that, many cultures recorded in stone. I'm just wondering, what do you think? Well, is actually the image you see happening?
The biggest thing to remember is the images from a long time back are based on the knowledge then and on the vision that they have then. So if you can just imagine, we saw 100 years ago a rocket. We would have trouble explaining what it looked like, or what was driving it, what the flame was for. Now we look at it and we see a flame and we think straight out, that is just the engine. So the descriptions of many things have to be taken from how they are now, not how they were. So in 2012, many of the things that were seen back then, you're actually seeing happening now, on the way up to it. Tsunami, earthquakes, all sorts of things like that, major disasters that the news focuses on, is what gets transmitted more than anything else into the universe. And so predictions are based on the focus that's happening between now and 2012. And that focus is usually, well, now it's television cameras and news and all things that are transmitted to people. But in actual fact, in people's lives, it's not quite like that. It's only like that in specific areas. So in 2012 and leading up to 2012, all the predictions are correct. Every one of them. It's just what angle are we looking at them from? So if you're actually standing where a disaster happened, it'd be quite different to standing in another country where there's no disaster happening. The closer we get to 2012, the more we'll see that the focused items are very small compared to what's happening overall. And so the beauty of what we're going into is becoming bigger than the disasters that we could see years ago. So when you start to look at it yourself, and you even look at something as simple as a butterfly, you can see there's much more than the explosion that happened in some back alley in another city. The beauty of the colours, of the people, of the beings that are coming through, of the young children, way outweigh what we've been focusing on. So by the time 2012 comes, we'll all be used to the fact that you ask a child a question, they give you an answer. You don't have to have a way of proving it. there'll be no pressure on anybody to prove it because we'll know that's correct. The colours we see are way past the spectrum that we've been taught through physics and science because we can see it. They may not be able to define it at this stage or to define the frequencies because there are more layers in what is coming and more harmonics than we have now. The measuring systems that we have now will be outdated because there's nothing better than the measuring system of a human being. The only thing that has to disappear is the fact that generally we believe an instrument, but we don't believe a person. So that's another major change that's coming. Everybody will feel one another. They'll understand one another because they believe. They'll connect through the correct direction because all the networks will be back together. Those things that have been destroyed by pressure, by stealing energy from one another, they will all disappear. And every communication between us will be back through our Creator. Our vision will have much more depth than just the eye. All the senses will feed into the vision as they're meant to do. And the words will be like a song. Hope that answers your question.
Actually, answer the other questions as well. What do you mean when you said great things will happen? Who qualify for them? Do you see the inevitable end of a part of humanity? Some part of humanity will actually pass this, will cross to...
Yes. Yeah, there are many people who are not ready to go past the transposition point, but they're happy to go out and come back in. It is much more difficult to go past the transition point than it is to give up and come back later. And so you'll see that there are a lot of people who will decide they can't go there, and so they'll move on. And there will be a few disasters, as we've seen already, where people are gathered together and there's a mass disaster. Those who know that they're going to be here after 2012 are very clear about it. Those who are not sure, they may go through, but there are a lot who say, no, I won't be there. And it's up to the people.
My next question is, what about the idea that we are becoming what we could call transcendental beings? Are there any limits to what a life dedicated to spirituality can accomplish in any realms and social, economic, political, scientific, philosophical, and metaphysical understandings?
Yes. There are a lot of limitations in understandings. There are no limitations in knowing. The two things have been placed close together. So in a political scene, in any other scene like that, in social, economic, it's based on a principle or a group of principles or a group of rules. They will all fail. But the person behind it all and the person standing in it will have a knowing. And it will go beyond the establishment we've had set up at the moment. Simply because there is trust, there is knowing, and there are some very, very special beings standing there allowing people to take on an example. So I see that the socio-economical scene will change enormously because it'll be run by the people. not by a selected, educated group. The people have natural leaders in so many areas, and they will come to the forefront because of who they are, not because of their education.
The next one is about aliens. You mentioned that friendly and compassionate extraterrestrials presence are helping humanity through its evolution. What about these rumors or reports about malevolent ones, deeply involved with the US and other governments in the world, and with agendas that, if true, and I believe they are, go totally against human welfare and sovereignty, like cloning, hybridization programs, entities that are without souls, or genetic manipulations of all sorts? What about these beings? Are they going to fail them? What about these branches of the government associated with them? Are they going to retract? Are they going to give up, or are they going to disappear completely?
Okay. It's a long question,
Yeah.
very complex one. And if I give you a general answer, there will always be areas that it doesn't apply to. But I'll do the best I can. It is our purpose to raise the vibration to a level where those beings are uncomfortable and decide to leave. That is the only way we can work. And it's just like shining a torch. If you can shine it on the right area, the dark disappears. That's the principle behind it. The control of governments because of these dark entities has been there forever. What will happen is the influence of the government will reduce to a point where they keep themselves busy until they've run out of things to do. Then what happens to them is up to themselves. There'll always be a space for them. They're in the universe, in God's creation, there's a space and a place for everyone and everything. All that will happen is they will be juggled back into their right position, and they will add to the value of the earth and the universe.
Thank you. Yes, one more. This is about forthcoming events. The New Age movement. You have stated that in a very few coming years, 2012, nobody, as we now sometimes hear, will claim they are.
So that question that you asked was concerning the beings that have come here from other planets or from other realities, have come here to help. They often say, I come from a different planet. When we're finished with Earth, sometime after 2012, we'll be very proud to say we come from Earth, because we've elevated Earth way above anything we've ever experienced before.
I wish you the best. I wish you the best for the weekend retreat. It's going to be very successful. That's my humble opinion.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for your time. And again, this is for my program, Healing Words, and I think you were fantastic.
Thank you very much.
It's going to help a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you very much.